So as you can see, I've stripped my bike down, and the reason for that is I'm going to be rebuilding the carburetors. So I've got this All Balls carburetor rebuild kit, and that cost me about 180 bucks. And this is to rebuild the carburetor to the stock settings. So when I took the airbox off, I seen that the previous owner had a K&N air filter on there, and he's also running an aftermarket exhaust. So I'm unsure what jet sizes are in these carbies, whether they're the stock jet sizes or whether he's gone a couple of sizes up, but time will tell when I pull them apart and have a look. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's pull them down and rebuild them. So I'll start off by removing all these boots. They pop off really easily. And these boots lead to the airbox. I'm just going to give them a good soaking. So once you've got all the float bowls nice and loose, just take them off. Alrighty, so I'm going to start off by taking out the floats. And the kit that they provide you with comes with new needle and seats, so I'll be replacing the needle and seats, and to do that I just got to loosen off these little screws and they'll pull straight out. And let the carby cleaner run downwards so we get any dust out. So now I'm going to be removing the pilot jets. So I've removed the pilot jets. So the ones which are in it are a 17.5 and the stock ones are a 15. So I pulled the spark plugs out to see how the bike was running with the 17.5 pilot jets, and it was running extremely rich. And that would explain why it had very little power down low. It felt like it was bogging out. So my next point of call was to have a look at the mixture screw, and they had the mixture screw wound out a total of 4 revolutions. So that tells me that either the mixture screw is out or these are just too big as well. I checked the sizing of the main jets, and the stock ones are the exact same size as the ones which are currently in it, and they are running a 130 main jet. So I'm just going to put the new ones in anyway. Alrighty, so I'll take the mixture screws out now. I actually think it's missing a spring, one of them, so that would explain why that one was out 2 turns and not out 4 turns like all the others. So I think they lost a spring, so it's good that I've rebuilt this carburetor. Alrighty, so with these new mixture screws, what you have to do is put a spring on, and then following a spring, a very small washer, and then after the washer, a small rubber seal. So I'll put that one in. So wind them all the way in until they gently seat. So that's the float bowls cleaned. I've put the main jets in, I've put the pilot jets in, I've put the new mixture screws in, and I've put the new seats in. So what I'm going to do is put the new needles in and put the floats back in and measure the float height. Then I'll put the new seals on the bottom of the float bowls and put the float bowls back on. Alrighty, so as you can see, I've got a mark on my screwdriver there. So each time it makes it back to that point is 1 revolution. So that's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And that's an 8th. And now I'll repeat the process with the other 3 carbs. Alrighty, so now I'm going to adjust the float level on my carburetors, and after searching the internet for hours I only found that there was one method which people recommended, and that was to turn the carburetors upside down on the 99 Yamaha R1 and have the float resting underneath its own weight. And they recommend that the tab or the tang in the float is to be just resting on the needle, where it's not decompressing that small pin on the needle. So they want it just sitting on there where it's not decompressing that little pin. So they say that you're to measure the float height by running a vernier caliper along the base of the carburetor there, and to measure it on the highest point of the float. And they say that the range is from 6mm to 7mm. So I didn't film it, but before reinstalling the floats I adjusted the tab as the float level was sitting too high. So when I ran the vernier over the top of it, the float level was at 10mm. So what that means is that the main jet would have been submerged mostly in fuel, and the emulsion tube would have been sucking too much fuel into the middle of the carburetor, and the fuel wouldn't have been able to vaporize, and therefore the bike may have been running rich. So I've set my vernier calipers to 7mm, and what I'm going to do is just run it along the base of the carburetor there and make sure that it just touches the top of the float. And as you can see, it just clears it, and I'm going to run that along the base of each carburetor to measure the float height. And as long as it's not touching it, then it won't be set too high. So now I've set my vernier caliper to a height of 6mm, and I'm going to do the same thing and run the calipers along the base of the carburetor, and as long as they touch the float, then I'll know I'm within range. So as you can see, it's just touching the float there, and I'll do that with all the carburetors, and as long as it touches, I'm within the range of 6 to 7mm, which is a recommendation that I've read online. So now my carburetors are reassembled, they're right to put back on the bike. But before I do that, I'm going to put some new spark plugs in the bike. As you can see, the previous settings with these carburetors, the bike was running extremely rich, and that could be due to a number of factors. So it could have been that the air mixture screw wasn't adjusted correctly. It could be that the float height was too high, and therefore the main jet was sucking up too much fuel, which couldn't atomize, and therefore they were just running rich. Or it could even mean that the pilot jet which was in it was too large. So there are a couple of factors as to why this bike could have been running rich. So what I've done is reset the carburetors to the stock setting. So the air mixture screws are dialed out 3 1/8 turns. I've got the 115 pilot jet in there, and I've also reset the float heights between the ranges of 6 to 7mm. Prior to doing that, the float heights were set to 9 to 10mm. So I believe that that float height may have been the main contributing factor as to why this bike was running too rich. But as I said, I'll whack the carburetors on the bike with the new spark plugs. I'll run the bike until it gets hot. I'll take the plugs out and have a look at the condition of the plugs. If they are running rich, then I'll adjust that air mixture screw. So let's get to it. So I've connected the coils, I've connected the cables, I've connected the hoses to the carburetor as well as the carburetor breathers. So now let's just connect the tank, plug this back in, and she should fire up. Alrighty, so the bike seems to be idling nicely. It's also revving out without any flat spots, so that's a plus. I've also touched each header pipe and there's heat coming off each header pipe, so there's no issues with fuel getting through each cylinder. The next thing I want to do is synchronize the carburetors. I can't do that just yet as I'm waiting on a synchronizer tool. I also want to see how the bike's running with the carb settings the way they are. I want to know if it's running rich or if it's running lean. I can't do that just yet. As you're meant to take the bike for a ride, get the bike under load, bring the bike back, pull the plugs out and check the condition of the plugs. As the bike's unregistered, I can't do that. So the bike needs to be under load when you're checking the condition of the plugs. It's no good just sitting here revving the bike out, turning it off and then checking the plugs that way. It actually seems to be running a lot better than what it was before, and that's a plus. So there's still two things I've got to do to see how the bike's running with these carburetor settings, and that's synchronize the carburetors and then check the condition of the plugs once I've taken it for a ride. So that's just about going to do it for this one. Thanks very much for watching, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.